Baby, 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 it should be a crime to be this cute and sit in the house with nothing else to do. This makeup is truly about to go to waste because I ain't about to do nothing but edit it and go back to bed. Yeah, I guess on my hair, she look alright, and with that actually sitting there like this creams, and I had to have them, sis. All 5 of them. Here, I just had, we're gonna discontinue it, but I had to pick up their book of shadows, honey. Color Grade makes cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. Why so serious? What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Torrence here. If you're new to the channel, I would love it if you hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning subscriber, go ahead and give this video a like, honey. You know I always give y'all a good time every time. It's free 99 for the channel, so honey, with the rising prices of everything, you all can truly afford a subscription here. So go ahead. We've already passed that 700 mark. Help me hit that 1,000 and go ahead and hit subscribe. Today, as you can see, it is a neutral day, but that does not mean it is a boring day. I'm pulling out one of my Christmas gifts, my ShayBaby Cosmetics palette. This is the Shayded palette, 9 shadows, 7 mattes, 2 metallics, and you already know. For this to be no green, no black, and have me feeling myself like this, it's gonna be a good day in makeup. But honey, I don't want to spoil everything. But you already know, honey, nothing in makeup is perfect. So if you want to know the pros and the cons of this eyeshadow palette, as well as this lip gloss from ShayBaby Cosmetics, just make sure you continue to watch. But before we get started, honey, you know I got to bring you those swatches. First up, I wanted to give you all a close-up view of the packaging. This is the ShayBaby Cosmetics Shaded palette. This is a neutral 9-pan eyeshadow palette. Once inside the palette, there is a very large mirror, but I did not want to blind you all with that. I'm someone who doesn't really care if there's a mirror in the palette, but many of you love to have them, so I just wanted to point that out. There are 7 mattes and 2 metallics. The 2 metallics are shades number 8 and 9. One's much more brown toned, the other is much more pink toned, but I cannot wait to show you all swatches of this color story here. I also wanted to show you all the lip gloss that I'm going to be using for today. This is shade number 11, Bubblicious. This is what the packaging looks like. It has her logo on it. I'm also going to be showing you a swatch of this on the side of the eyeshadows. Alright, and can I tell you, first off, the swatches are so beautiful. They were smooth, creamy, everything. But the swatches show you just how much shade variety you get, because when you're just looking at the palette, it's like, okay, honey, do I have transition and crease shades, you know, for any skin tone? It's not till you see it swatched out that you really see the shade variation, and you can tell, oh yeah, I can use this to create multiple looks. But there are 2 things I do need to point out. First, shade number 7, that bright pink one. At first, I thought that was a truly matte shade, but upon swatching, it appears to be a matte with very fine micro sparkle. I think if you're the person who's actually applying the makeup, you'll notice it. If you're just someone who's wearing the makeup or actually someone just looking at it, you won't notice it. It does look and appear that it will apply and do everything the same way a matte would, and it doesn't seem to be giving me any fallout on the arm swatch, but we'll be able to test that out later. But the shade that has my eye is the one next to it, shade number 8. That shade is just so creamy, so shiny, so metallic. Like, look at the way it bounces and reflects in the light, honey. I know I'm going to be putting that on my eye. But last but not least, on the very end, I also wanted to put a swatch of the gloss because we're going to be using that in today's look. Everything came with the first order, so with no further ado, let's go ahead and get into this look. Alright, you guys, before we get into things, I forgot to mention during swatches, all my swatches are always done one time over no primer. It's just done on the arm. Before we get into the face, any and all tools and all products used will always be in the description bar below. I always tell you what products I use, including the brushes and things like that. I know normally I would have my ABH brow pencil on, but because I figured, you know, ShayBaby is a Detroit-based, you know, brand, you know what, let's pull out some more Detroit-based brands. So I'm using my Lip Bars brow pencil here. All details will be in the description bar, but I'm telling y'all, feels nice to be back in front of the camera because a lot of the footage that I had previously recorded was lost when I did an update on my laptop recently. Now it's asking for another one, and I'm scared to do it because I don't want to lose any more footage. So we're going to work with the software we got, kick out a few videos, and then we're going to try doing it again. Pray for the best, but we've been blabbing long enough. Today we are finally pulling out my ShayBaby. This is the Shayded palette, honey. And I'm sitting back looking like, not sure exactly what kind of look we're going to pull off, but y'all already know. I start lightest to darkest, so it's going to be easy to say. We're going to go in here with shade number 5. This is the lightest shade in the palette, or at least lightest neutral matte. I'm going to take this and use that as a transition throughout my entire crease with my biggest, fluffiest brush. So let's get into it. Okay, first thing I'm liking is these are some very soft shadows, honey. You will get some kick up, so you might want to knock your brush off. Remember, we can always come back and add more, but if you do too much, it may be hard to blend that out. But we're going to take this throughout our entire crease, honey. Buff this up and out. I want this transition shade to be nice and soft so we can build up to other colors. And seeing this color here, I know I will be able to go back in and buff and build that up. So let's go in. And now that I know what the pigmentation layers is like, I'm not afraid to load my brush up, but I still want to knock a little of that excess off. Okay, and that second layer is definitely coming through with more pigmentation. This is still a much lighter shade. So those of you who feel as if this palette may not be light enough for you, this palette here goes to show you that they do have shades right here that will get the job done. And y'all know I like to build and blend my shadows. So this will give me plenty of colors to play with. And if I were going for an evening look, I would probably go in and try to get that a little bit darker. But because I want this nice and soft, we're going to go ahead and do this on the other side, and I'll be right back. Now that I have a flawless blend, it's time to go in and deepen up the crease. I have hooded eyes, so I'm going to take a slightly smaller blending brush in shade number 6 right here to give us a little more depth and dimension. And just like before, tap off the excess because we can always come back and build up later. But I want to make sure I start on the outer end of the eye, lowest part of the crease, and bring that in. This color is going to add some warmth to this eye as well as some depth. And baby, y'all know I'm not the biggest fan of just straight orange shades, so I didn't want to go in with this as the transition. I don't mind it going deeper into the crease. And I know that wind out there fighting with my front door, honey. Almost scared me. But we're just going to go ahead and build this up, and as you can see, even just that first layer is giving us a whole lot of color, honey. Got me debating on whether I even need to go in with a second layer. But just because I have hooded eyes and I know I'm going to cut my crease, well, I guess we're going to do that now that I done said it out loud. I really wasn't, sure what we was going to do next. But we're going to go ahead and just to see if this shade is buildable as well, tap off our excess and go in with one more layer just to see. And I think that just showed y'all just like it showed me. She surely just built up in color, honey. Okay, and once you have that pigmentation there, then you can just raise your brush slightly and diffuse those edges, because honey, that's the one thing we don't want is harsh lines. No ma'am. Okay, and just because we already here and having fun, I'm going to just build that pigment up on one side and just press it down into the outer V. I'm not really worried about fallout because we haven't done our face yet. But I usually just do about one brush with, press it there, and we'll leave it just like that. You can let our shimmer shades diffuse the edges for us later. Oh, I was about to put this brush up. We got to do this on the other side. I'll be right back. I just got to do it. I just got to. So what we're going to do is take shade number 3 right here, and we're going to take our smallest, fluffiest blending brush, and we're going to build it up right here on the outer V in just the lowest outer point of our crease. I'm not going to take it all the way. I'm actually going to try to keep from going halfway, but I just got to give myself just a little bit more depth and dimension. Tap that off, and we're going to just start off. I want to do the crease work first, just because I know that has to be buffed out, and we're just going to do this right here on the outer half. I only want my brush to go to the halfway point just to diffuse that line, but I'm trying to keep it right here on that outer V section. Ooh, glad that hiccup finally left. build that up just right there in that outer V. And once we have the line we want, we're going to just pull it out just slightly to diffuse it. And then take that brush, pack it on one side, press it down, and just sweep backwards. I want to do it about halfway, covering that outer V color. We want the outer V to be the absolute darkest part of this look. Okay, and for me, I can see that this side is a little darker and looks a little smokier than the other side. Be right back. Now it's time to cut my crease. Y'all know I love my NYX glitter adhesive Morphe M421 brush. We're just gonna take some of this, put it on the back of the hand, and I'm gonna try to save most of that outer V work since we took the time to blend and put it all down. But baby, from the front end, we got to go all in. So I'm just gonna put some down here first. And we're gonna cut that crease rather high, you already know that. And try to stop it right before where our outer V work starts. That way we can always buff things over. And you know what? Why not take this in front of the eyelid? Give ourselves a little more drama and a little more space. There are only 2 shimmers in this palette and I got to use them both. So what we're going to do is take the darker one, shade number 8 right here, and put that on the inner half. And then I'm going to figure out how we're going to take shade number 9 here, and I'm either going to blend that on the outer half or right on top in the center. I'll decide later. Baby, I got a big fat paddle brush and I've loaded it up because this shade here, number 8, has been catching my eye since Swatches. So we're going to take that and put that all the way up to the front. All the way up, and press that down and look at her. And you know what? I might just go ahead and leave that space right there for that pink shade. At first I was going to come through and be greedy and put this all over and take all of that, but I'm going to save it. And I do have a little fallout, but that is my fault because I did pick up a ton of product, but look at the color and the shine on her. I'm not playing. I want to take this other color and steal all that last little bit of space, but we're not going to do that. We'll be right back. Now I've loaded my brush up on the other side. This is shade number 9. This is much more of a pink to gold duochrome. We're going to put that on the outer half here. And what we're going to use that to do is also to blend that into the first shade so we don't have a harsh line, as well as this outer V shade here. I'm going to just buff those edges slightly. And because that color is a little lighter, it'll make it seem like that's a very high point of the eye. Not sure if on camera you're going to see a difference there, but I can definitely see a difference in person because this shade here has that gold flip that the front half doesn't have. Okay, I'm looking at her now like, okay, seems like we got solid base going on. So what I'm going to do is cut away, finish off the face, and when I come back, I'm going to show you how we're going to finish off the lower lash line as well as the lips. And thanks to the power of editing, honey, we were able to cut away, get this face done real quick. Off camera, I'm not going to tell y'all everything I use, but I will give y'all some of the highlights. First off, I kept trying to tell myself, Torrence, keep this as soft and neutral as possible. So for the lower lash line, I wanted to make sure I used an eyeliner, but I wanted to stay away from anything that was dark brown or black. So I'm using the shade Whiskey by Urban Decay. This is their 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. You all know normally I would go for Demolition, but that's a much deeper brown, so I skipped it. And for blush, I meant to grab my blush duo, accidentally grabbed this one, but this is from the Lip Bar. This is in the shade Pinch Me. It's a nice pink, but I would say it's more of a glowy highlighting blush. I was able to tone it down, but as you can see, that pink is very noticeable, and I do have powder on top of that to calm it down, but that's about as loud as we're gonna get because once I realized it has that pink tone to it, I'm like, ooh, put her down. For a highlighter, because this look is so soft, so natural, or at least for me, I wanted to go ahead and give myself an over-the-top highlighter. So I went in with my Natasha Denona Super Glow. You know I absolutely love this highlighter, and as you all can see, I needed something that would create a highlight on top of this pink because it's such a vivid color. I didn't want to go in with my regular MAC one because that's much more golden. And I'm like, okay, the rest of the face is just basic. For the lips as well, I almost forgot that. Straight living from the lip bar because we was already playing with the lip bar. I know I'm going to go in with my ShayBaby gloss on top of this. So I figured I might as well go in and line my lips. And instead of just lining exactly where my lips is, maybe a little bit inside, I did overline just the absolute tiniest bit, like the absolute tiniest bit, just because I wanted to be able to make sure that when I go in, I can create an ombre effect with this pink gloss here. So I am wearing the darkest brown that the lip bar makes, according to my knowledge right now. Mascara was just my basic Lancome Duo. I always wear this, so that'll be in the description bar. But the way these eyes is coming together, I am loving it, honey. Only thing we have left to do is our lower lash line as well as the lips, so we're going to get back into it. And I figured there's no point of doing anything extra and over the top because we already used shade number 6 and 3 on the top. We're going to go ahead and do that on the bottom. So I'm going to take shade number 6 with a large pencil brush, and then I'm going to take shade number 3 right behind it with a smaller pencil brush, but I'm going to leave shade number 3 on the outer V. I don't want to bring that all the way in. And we're just going to make sure this connects, started on the outer half. Gotta get that close to the lash line and buff that all the way over. Baby, and that was just my mistake right there. My finger slipped on my inner corner, but we'll be able to fix that. And that connected real fast, but I need to go ahead, pick something up to dust that powder up right there. And baby, that cleaned up real fast. That's what I'm loving. I still have just the slightest bit of stainage there, but I can clean that up later. Now I have a smaller pencil brush in shade number 3, and I'm going to just take this, make sure we start on the outermost point, and just bring that in about 1/3 of the way. About the same distance as you have it on the top. Last step for the eyes is highlighting our inner corner and our brows, and to do so I'm going to use the same highlighter I used for the face. That's going to be my Natasha Denona Super Glow. I have it here in the shade, which one? 02 Light Medium. So I'm going to go ahead, grab my MAC 242 brush, and you all know I like a beaming highlight, so we're going to pick up as much as we can and do the inner corners first. And I'm going to take this right there. I want it beaming and I want her loud. Bam! You see that, baby? I'm telling you, you can never tell me nothing about a vivid over-the-top inner corner highlight. Some people like her, some people don't. And just because I did have that little smudge there earlier, I'm going to take this same brush and just push that right there for the front part of the inner corner. Just because we can have a dark smoke on the outer end and a light highlight on the inner half. Just going to press that just slightly on the lower lash line. And we're going to take whatever's left, highlight the highest point of our brows. But remember, this is a very, very shiny highlighter, so you don't want to put too much down. Alright, now it's time to test out this gloss. This is the shade Bubblicious. I think this may even be her best-selling gloss. The one thing I got to give her though, nice wide doe foot, honey. I am somebody who has really big lips, so I always need me a big doe foot. Gonna grab the wrong mirror, honey. And I like to start mine off in the center of the lips and then let it blend out because I have that liner there. And because I have really big lips, I'm going to do one dip on the bottom and one on the top and then decide from there if I need more. Oh yeah, I'm going to need a little bit more because baby, I got some big old lips, so we're going to do another dip for both. Alright, now that might be where it's gonna get it, honey. Go ahead, let that blend out, get that time to settle. Oh yes, honey. Now she coming through. She giving you that look. Alright, you guys. I am liking the way this looks. Normally, if I wasn't headed out or anything like that, I would go ahead and put one more layer on right there in the center of the lips just to give you that extra glossy wet lip look. But I got something else to do, so we're going to hold off on that. But we have to set this before we leave. So grab your sprays because you know I'm about to grab mine. Fix Plus to give us a glowy do. All-nighter so things will last all day. Cheap fan, expensive breeze, good times. I'm going to give this a few more seconds to try and I'll be back to show you all the final look. And this is the final look. I'm going to go ahead, give you all a full face view of things before I give you all my final thoughts. And I'm telling you, honey, I'm feeling cute today. Ain't no point in lying. When I first picked this up, like, baby, first, look at the way the skin is just glowing. Like, we got to give you that. I'm not going to lie. I was nervous with today's look. First off, the eyeshadow palette has to be my favorite part of today's look. Y'all know I am someone who really likes greens. First off, greens are my favorite eyeshadow color. Behind that, blacks, then come your neutrals. So to give me a palette that's all neutrals, no green, no black, I'm sitting back like, yes, it's gonna take a life to win me over. But what does it is the fact that these colors are pigmented, buildable, and blendable. Now, as far as pigmented as I like shadows, I would say no. They aren't up there like, you know, Juvia's Place pigmentation. But then again, you have to think about it. ShayBaby is a professional makeup artist, and she uses products in a, how can I put this? I don't want to say reasonable. That doesn't come off right. She needs things to be predictable. When she's working, she can't go in and say, oops, I accidentally blended something here, and now that shade is so dark, so rich, I can't buff that out, and it's going to take much more time out of my day as well as my client's day. So she needs something that isn't going to come off extremely strong, but if she wants to go in again, it'll build up, it'll blend out, and it'll be beautiful. And that's what you see here. You notice I went in with this shade here, which I felt as if was the lightest shade on my complexion for this look. And everything stands out. That transition shade was beautiful. It was something that you barely saw was there, but once you put your next color on, it let everything shine out. The thing is, we already know, no eyeshadow palette is perfect. There just isn't one unless you just create it yourself. So, for pros, I'm going to say price, buildable, blendable, beautiful. For cons, the one con that I would say is just because I am someone who's doing content online. Online, I believe if you try to go in and use both of these shades at the same time, you won't get that boom bow effect that you would with many other colors. I can stand right here in person and clearly tell that that is two different shades on the lid, but I don't think the camera is going to do it justice like this. So if you're someone who's just posting pictures online, it'll be best to just use either this shade or this shade on the lid and not waste your time trying to use both. But if you're in person, I think someone will see both effects, and I want to see if it's a way I could possibly get a glare going. It ain't gonna do it because this doesn't have a reflection. But if you're someone who just wears your makeup on an everyday basis and you don't care about what it looks like online, you much prefer what it looks like in person, you can do like I did and wear both shades because this is absolutely fabulous. What else do we have? The lip gloss. First off, once again, price, beautiful, packaging, the fact that she has her own logo on there, it's not just some, blank one where we could say, you know what, where did this come from, honey? For all I know, you just bought this from the dollar store and just giving it to me. So the fact that she has her own customized component with a large wand here, as someone who has DSLs, honey, I am loving it. The one con I would say that I have about the lip gloss, once again, this is up to personal preference for you. How can I put this? In my opinion, a gloss is only going to be A1 in one category, either longevity or moisturization, honey. As someone who's on tretinoin, as someone who's in the wintertime right now, I'm usually going back and forth between whether I want something that's going to last all day or something that's really hydrating. And when I think of my 3 favorite lip gloss formulas, my very first one, Pat McGrath, she has what I believe is just the most moisturizing lip gloss on the market for me, and I absolutely love her, but you got to put her on 20 times a day because she hydrates and gets right into the lips. On the very opposite end, my gloss that I feel as if lasts all day, I don't have to worry about it, my matte clear lip glass. The thing is, because she's so sticky and she lasts all day, she doesn't really hydrate the lips that well. The perfect in between those two for me is Fenty. Fenty's Gloss Bomb, she doesn't last all day, but she lasts a really long time, and she's not the most hydrating lip gloss, but she's really hydrated, and I feel as if she's the perfect blend of these two. And if I had to guess where would I put ShayBaby, I would say she's somewhere in between MAC and Fenty. It's not quite as long lasting as the MAC, but it's not quite as hydrated as the Fenty, but she's like the perfect blend between the two because there is some stickiness to it when you first put it on, but once you blend it out and you get it on there, you can see there is no stickiness, there's no streakiness, like you don't see my lips sticking together. So she like I said, the perfect blend between MAC and Fenty. She's not quite as hydrated as Fenty, but I truly believe this would last longer than Fenty would on the lips because you can see it turned that lip liner into an ombre lip. Like, baby, my lips is popping, my lips is shining. So I truly do recommend both products. If I had to say, Torrence, which one would you recommend? Me personally, I'm going to say go ahead and get that eyeshadow palette over the lip gloss just because I have a collection of lip glosses that's so big, but you all do not have to worry about it. ShayBaby sent over the other eyeshadow palette because this one here is the Shayded, but I told you all in my previous haul video, I'm trying to remember, I'll leave the link to that video right there. Y'all remember, ShayBaby sent over her new palette here, the Money Moves palette. So if you all want to see a tutorial with her second and newest palette, this is much more colorful. All you got to do is leave me a comment down below and I can get that going for you because I'm already loving the formula. But to know greens is my favorite and I see a green in there, I'm like, ooh, baby, I cannot wait to try this out. And I'm going to have to go ahead and get me some more products because I'm telling y'all, ShayBaby has an entire line of things. Foundation, brushes, powders, all of that. And this can't be the only gloss that I get. I'm someone who really loves neutral glosses and much more, I'm going to say, berry pinky glosses, like neutral ones. So I know for sure she got at least 3 more colors. I'm going to be on that. So I'm going to have to go ahead and update that. But baby, y'all see me right here, right? Neutral eyeshadow, honey. Feeling myself. I am loving it. But what else? I don't even know what else to say because, honey, it's been so long since I've been on camera. I just want to say, one, I miss you all. To any and everyone who sent me out a DM, an email, anything like that, checking up on me in the off time, I want to say I thank you and I truly do love you all. Please, please, please make sure you all check out ShayBaby Cosmetics, honey. I'll make sure I leave all of their information in the description bar below. They have a website where you can purchase things. She also has an Instagram that shows off some of her fabulous work. So I'll make sure I leave her information down in the description bar. But you all have to let me know, 1, if you've ever tried any of her products, and 2, if you want me to do that next video. But this ain't the only video I got to record today, so I got to hurry up, get this done. So with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye, YouTube.